the Gemara was talking about the fact that it's usher to burn a carbon that's not going on the Mizbeach on Yom Tif, because the halacha is, this is called Psulei HaMikdashim, something that's possible for whatever reason it can't be used as a carbon, so it has to be burnt. But you can't burn it on Yom Tov. So what's the reason? Rav Ashi Amar, because it says Shabbosain. What does Shabbosain mean? So I say, so Shabbosain is a mitzvah. So the mitzvah is to rest. So now we all know that there's also a loisase, loisase kol malacha. You're not allowed to do malacha on Yom Tov. So ve'en esay doichas loisase v'asay. So even though there's a mitzvah in the Torah that you should burn the possible carbon, and we'll get into Truma in a minute, but you can't do it on a day when there's a loisase and an asay. So the asay is Shabbosain, or as they call it today, Shabbaton, right? And that's where the word comes from. And there's a Shabbosain, there's a mitzvah saseh to rest, and there's a loy saseh not to do malacha. Okay, so now the Gemara says like this. So what about truma? So if you do burn truma on truma that's tameh, you're supposed to burn it, and you burned it, so can you benefit from it? So Gemara says, b'yom tiv u'da aser. So when are you not allowed to light a nair with truma oil only which is tamei, so only on Yom Tov. But it seems that on a weekday you can do it. My time, why? If it's tamei, so who says that it's mutter to have a no from it? The Morah answers, Amar Rav, Keshem Shemitzvah Lissof HaKotshim Shenitmu, just like there's a mitzvah to burn kotshim that became tamei, Kach Mitzvah Lissof es Truma, so the same thing is, there's a mitzvah to burn truma Shenitmas that became tamei. V'amra Torah, the Torah says, B'shas bi'ura, when you're burning it, Tehani Mimena, you can have hanoah. Where did the Torah even say that? So my answer is Rav Nachman made a drasha. The Rav Nachman said, Rav Nachman Amar Rabba Barabua Amar Kra, because the pasuk says, Vani hine nesati lecha es mishmeres trumaisai. So it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I gave you the guardianship watching trumaisai. So what do we learn from this? Trumaisai is plural. B'shtei trumas hakasu medaber. The Torah is talking about two trumas. Achas truma tahira, achas truma tameya. One is Torah and one is tamei. B'amrachman lecha. The Torah is talking about both under the word lecha. Shelecha tehela asika tachas tafshilecha. You can take it, make a fire with it. We're all making fires now on our stoves because we're kashering pretty much. B'amrachman lecha shelecha tehela asika tachas tafshilecha. You can put it under your pot. What's the pshat? You can put it under your pot. You'll benefit from it because without the fire, you can't cook. That's one source. Another source, V'bayasema mid Reb Abo. So before it was not Reb Abo, it was Reb Abuha. Let's not get mixed up. This is Reb Abohu. So what does he say? Reb Abo, Reb Yehudah, he said, it says like this in the pasuk. So when we say the Vidui Meiser, Vidui Meiser is when a person at the end of the year finished all of his Meiseris, Meiser Rishon, Meiser Sheni, Meiser Ani, whatever the year is. And he says, Bi'arti HaKodesh min habayis. One of the things he says is, I got rid of all the Kodesh in my house. There's nothing left that I have to get rid of. That we're going to say this, Hashem, something similar by the Chametz. But I didn't burn it when it was tamei. So what do we learn from there? Mimenu yatamavir. So you're not allowed to use it when it's tamei. Avalatamavir shemen shel truma shenitmas. That is kachim. But truma, you're allowed to benefit from it when it became tamei. So the Gemara says, is that really true? Ve'ema, maybe mimenu, from it, iyatamavir, you can't benefit from it. Avalatamavir shemen shel kodesh shenitma. Maybe b'dafka, the opposite. Maybe I can benefit from shemen kodesh. In other words, let's say, for instance, there was a carbon mincha. Carbon mincha uses oil. And I had leftover oil or oil that became puzzle, and I'm going to use it for myself. Maybe that's what I'm allowed to do. So Morah says, no, lav kal v'chaymer. Who does a kal v'chaymer? Ma meiser hakal. Imagine which is meiser, which is the least of all of these. We're very lenient by meiser. The Torah said, lo bi'arti mimenu b'tamei, that we say in the vidui meiser. I never used it when it was tamei. Kodesh chamor. So when we're talking about kedusha, oil that came out of a carbon, lekoshkin, so of course I'm not allowed to use it. So Gemara says, wait a minute, hachi truma nami lema kal v'chaymer. Let's say the same kal v'chaymer by truma. Gemara says, no, oksiv mimenu, because when it says mimenu, it means that there's an exception for truma that you're allowed to benefit. So Gemara says, umaru isa. Wait a minute, who told you that you could benefit from truma and you can't benefit from kodesh or from meiser? Maybe it's the exact opposite. So Gemara says, no, it's logical. You can't let out kodesh. So because there's 6 reasons. Sheken simen panak achas. So panak achas or ichas stands for pigul, noiser, carbon, meila, the karis aser, la'oinain. So all these things are different chumras that apply to a kodesh. So Morah says, Rabbi, I mean, I could go into it. Maybe if we have a chance, we'll go into it. But, maybe just a little bit. So pigul, everybody knows what pigul is. We just, like when we learned kachim not that long ago. So we said that by kachim, but the kachim was the last seder that we had, because brachas is only one mesechta in Zroyim. So the last seder that we had was kachim, and throughout kachim we had pigul. So there's 2 types of pigul. One is when a person has the wrong kavana for this man. He says, I'm going to eat this after like 3 days or 4 days. And there's also pigul chutz l'makom. What this means over here is a machlokes rishonim. Some rishonim says it means man. Some rishonim say it means makom. So anyway, nicer is something left over. Carbon from the carbon. Me'ila means we benefit from it without being allowed to. The karis asur la'oinen, and karis means that a person is going to be chayav karis, and karis, as we'll soon see, is even worse than misa b'dei shemayim. So in any case, Gemara says, Adarabba, truma loy mematinon. So maybe we shouldn't be memay truma. What's mean memay truma? We said that truma you're allowed to benefit. When the Torah says you're not allowed to benefit, so there's a word that tells you truma is an exception. Gemara says maybe shekain machpas. What is machpas? Machpas stands for misa, chaymesh, and then we have also. Let's go to now to finally to Daf Chafei. And then pidyon, ve'en pidyon, v'asur l'zorim. So the machpaz is pidyon, and then zorim. So l'chayra, so you have all these things that tell you that you can't eliminate kachim. And then we have the other ones that you can't eliminate truma. So which is more the ones that are about truma? There's more reasons to let out truma. We just said 6 rather than kachim, which is only 4. That's one shot. Kodesh much more chamor. Why would we say, if we have a comparison between truma and kachim, and one we're going to be allowed to use betuma, and one we're not going to be allowed to use? It's probably going to be kachim that we're not allowed to use, because kachim in general is more chamor, is much more stringent than truma. So shekain anoish karis, because karis, like I mentioned before, is worse than misa b'dei shemayim. What is worse about it? So we don't want to usually discuss these type of things. Let's make a bracha. I'm talking all day. Sorry. So So the inyan of karis is that a person dies young, le'olenu, and also dies without children. Misa b'dei shemayim is only, I'm not saying only is like, doesn't count, but compared to karis, misa b'dei shemayim is only death early, from a relatively young age. Some say 50, some say 60, some say 70. It's a big machlokes. The Ramban has a whole sefer on this in the Shiur HaGemul. In any case, the Gemara says, and it's really a pasuk. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Omar Kor, the pasuk says, Titein loy, that you should give to the kayin. So what should you give? You should give the first of your grains and your wine and your oil. So loy v'loy le'uray. So you can give it to him to eat, but not to throw in his fire. Michlal the bas urahi. So you see the truma that is tamei, you could put into the fire, but you don't do this with the kayin. Now, Rabbi Shmuel, Gemara goes back to the Mishnah. Rabbi Shmuel said that you're not allowed to use itron because it's not covered Shabbos. Now, when we get into this in a couple of minutes, we're going to try to learn tonight a little bit about if Ner Shabbos is mostly covered Shabbos or Einik Shabbos, or a third thing that we had in the previous daf, which is Shalom Bais. So many Paiskim and Mefarshim, like the Brisker Rav, say it's all three. So in any case, the Gemara says, my time. So what is the reason that you can't use itron? Where it says, Amar Rava, because it has such a terrible smell that you might go out. So Gemara says, so let the guy go out. What's wrong? Let's say you have a bad smelling nair. So you'll go out. You go to the other room. What's the problem? So Amalei Ravi and said Abaya, no, Shani Omer Adlokas Ner b'Shabbos Chayva, because we hold that there's an obligation to light candles on Shabbos, means Friday night. Amar of Nachman bar Rav Zavda, he said V'Amil Amar of Nachman bar Rava, that what Amar Rav, everybody holds the name of Rav, Hadlokas Ner Shabbos Chayva. There's an obligation. Rechitzas Yadayim v'Raglayim b'Cham and Arvis. On the other hand, to wash your hands and feet in hot water right before Shabbos is Rishus, it's only optional. But I hold it's a mitzvah. Rav says, my mitzvah, what is the mitzvah? What was his minig? Shabbos mevim lo yareva mulei chamin. They used to bring like a big tub type of thing, like it was really more like a bucket, it would seem. And he washed his face and his hands and his feet, and then he used to wrap himself up in a talus, and he used to wrap himself in a talus. In other words, means it had tzitzis. And he looked like a malach elyon. Now, I remember, some of you might remember something like this. In Camp Morris many years ago when the Yeshivas at Tzal Rav Hutner was alive, so he said a few Maimarim Friday night as the sun was setting. It was like in the middle of after L'Chadaydi and before Ma'ariv. So he said a Maimar, very unusual. So he mentions this Indian that Friday night we get our Neshama Yisera. And a number of the Mefarshim, I didn't know it for many, many years. I heard it from Rashiva, I trusted him, I took his word for it. But later on, I learned the Mefarshim on this daf, on Daf Chafem and Bais in Shabbos, say, what does it mean? Why did he look like a malachan? It says Abaya, so he said, Pidyon Asul Azorim, and then it said that the story was that he used to be Daimel Malach Hashem Tzvakos. So in what way was he Malach Hashem Tzvakos? So the teretz is that the L'Chadaydi, it's very interesting that this preceded Reb Shlomo Alkabetz, who wrote L'Chadaydi. He took it from this Gemara and another Gemara, that Friday night we get our Neshama Yisera, and if we're really doing it right, we look like to everybody else like a Malach Hashem Tzvakos. They used to say there was a Yid, Reb Chaim Chernovich, who wrote a Sefer Be'er Maim Chaim, and his Hasidim used to say over that when he came from the mikveh Friday night, you could not recognize him. He had mamish pashut, a different face because of the Neshama Yisera. So anyway, so he said, Amalahen, so Rabbi Yehudah told them, I'm sorry. For Talmid of Mechabin, I skipped. Talmid of Mechabin Mimenu Kanfek Susa. But the Talmidim would hide their Arba Kanfis because they didn't wear Kehillas. Amalahen, he said, Bonai, didn't I tell you that Sadan B'tzitzis, when you have a linen garment, so you have to wear tzitzis, and the tzitzis in those days had Kehillas in them. So Memela it was shatnez. So Beishamai holds that you don't have to wear it. The Beis Hillel Mechayvin, Beis Hillel holds you have to wear it. V'alocha kedivrei Beis Hillel, ve'inu sarvi. What did they hold? Gzer mishum ksus laila. How come they didn't hold that it's esa doichaloises? In other words, there's an esa of wearing tzitzis, and tzitzis in the olden days, if you're wearing a linen garment, it's automatically shatnez, because it's got wool. So it's got wool and it's got linen, so it's shatnez. But Beis Hillel holds that you have to wear it, and it's esa doichalais esa. What did Beis Shammai hold? They always made extra gzeras that Beis Hillel didn't do. The inner sorry, they held, and they were machmer like Beis Shammai, gzerim mishum sus laila, because they held. Rashi explains, very interesting Rashi. Maybe let's look in the Rashi inside Rabbi side. So what did Beis Shammai hold? Beis Shammai says like this. the inner savri. What did Talmidim hold? If you look at this Rashi with me, very important Rashi. So Rashi says, Talmidov, the Talmidim show you oisrim. How come they didn't want to wear this? Savra nei the halach beisil v'chayovin midairaisa. Even though we hold like beisil midairaisa chayiv to put tzitzis on, and that's going to make it shatness. They made it exer because of pajamas. Maybe you're going to have a garment that's only worn at night, like pajamas. V'yatul by tzitzis, but it's going to be an arba conference. Let's say it's got four corners. People are going to put tzitzis on it and make it shatness. Because at night you're not mechuyev to wear tzitzis. There's a big chiddush of Rabbi, by the way. Rabbi writes in a tshuva that if you got undressed at night, let's say you go to a chasana. Most people don't do this, but Rabbi holds it's mutter. So let's say you're getting dressed to go to a chasana. It's night already. It's not like, ben hashmashos. It's night. And you took off your tzitzis, you're not mechuyev to put on tzitzis again because it's night. So, and most people by chasana, tzitzis are flying, but Rabbi shows that it's be'etzim, it's slyly, you're not mechuyev to wear tzitzis. So Rashi finishes off. Or if Yevon is parchinon, so Rashi brings to the Gemara in Yevamis. So is Bezdin allowed to be oiked that you're not doing a mitzvah? So Rashi brings from the Gemara in Yevamis that yes, the Chacham can't tell you to go do an avera, but the Chacham can tell you not to do a mitzvah. Okay, so in other words, even though you could have done the mitzvah tzitzis, according to Beis Hillel, you could wear tzitzis, even chayiv to wear tzitzis, but Beis Shammai held that since you can just do a sheva al tasa, don't wear tzitzis, so they didn't wear tzitzis that had shatnez. Okay, so now let's go back a while. The Gemara already talked about the mitzvah of lighting candles, so there's an interesting Gemara. Gemara says, "Batiznach misholom nafshi noshisi toiva." Hopefully, we all remember this from Eicha.
Would that be a mitzvah?
What?
Would that be a mitzvah baba avera?
No, not if the Torah said so. Chas v'shalom. The Torah said to wear shatnez, so it's not a mitzvah baba avera. I understand what you're saying. The Gemara discusses this in Yevamis, and the Gemara says, "Your kasha." The Gemara says it's not mitzvah baba avera. And since the Torah said, I'll give you an example. Let's say a lulav. Let's say the lulav. Let's say you're supposed to, I don't know, chas v'shalom. We have a parak called lulav agazel. Let's say the mitzvah would be to steal the lulav. So, that would be the derech. Over the derech of wearing tzitzis is with shatnez. Moshe the Kohanim in the Bais Hamikdash, they wore tzitzis they were the big dekuna were full of shatnez. So it wasn't a mitzvah b'avera. It was that this is the way the mitzvah is done. Good point though. So now in Eichot says, "Vatizlach mishalom nafshi." So he says like this: I gave up on having any peace. No shisi toiva. I even forgot what it means to be good. Like a lot of people now, Nebuch, we're forgetting about our shuls. We're forgetting about davening with a minyan. It's very, very bad. So now the Gemara asks, "My vatiznach mishalom nafshi." What does that mean? Amar Rabbi Abua zu hadlokas ner b'Shabbos. So this is hadlokas ner Shabbos. So what does it mean hadlokas ner Shabbos? That they were so poor that they didn't have any oil, they didn't have any candles, and he said the Maral is a different shot in this. But Rashi learns is that there's no shalom in the house. When we had this about shalom bayis. When people are totally, don't forget, in the dark, they didn't have street lights, they had nothing. So when it was dark, it was black, pitch dark. So they would fall down, they would bump into each other. There was no shalom bias. So the Maral really has a kind of like a more elaborate shot. I don't want to say chas v'shalom. You can't say different, better than Rashi. But the Maral learns over here. If we have a chance, we'll read the Maral together. The Maral says that be'etzim, it means over here because the candle itself brings shalom, not just because of the kedusha of the candle brings shalom. It brings perfection. Now let's go a little bit further. So now the Gemara says, "Nashisi Taiva." What does that mean? Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah, Zu Beis HaMerchat. So now we're going to learn things that are very important to a person's life. So that means a person that takes a bath, and he goes to the bathhouse. In the old days, they didn't have showers or bathtubs, so he went to a special building called the Beis HaMerchat. So that's what it means that they didn't have it by the Churban, so they felt that they couldn't have good hygiene. That's what the Maral says. So they felt like they had forgotten a very important component of life. Then the Gemara says, Zu rechitzas yadayim v'raglayim. We leave out the words Rabbi Yochanan said, that they take it out, that bechamen, that washing your hands and your face and your hands and feet. Rechitzas yadayim v'raglayim. He doesn't say face over here. He just says your hands and feet. Rabbi Yisrael Nafcha Amar, Zumita Noah v'kelim noyim she'aleha. So this means having a nice bed clothing that you can lay down. They didn't even have that after the Churban. Rabbi Abba Amar Zumita Mutzas. This means a bed that's made. V'isha mekushetes l'talmidei chachamim. And it means a woman that is all decked out. So why is this? You can't really say this to little children, but it means because the Gemara says that Einas Talmid Chacham Leil Shabbos Leil Shabbos. That when the Talmidei Chachamim were generally away from home the entire week, and the only time they had relations with their wives, Talmidei Chacham we're talking about. Remember we said this the other day. They were on the road all the time. So they came home for Shabbos. So they came home for Shabbos. If their wives were not a nida, so they had relations. So that's what it means. Mita mutzas, the bed is made. V'ishim b'shuketes, b'kushetes, and they see that their wife is all decked out. She's all gussied up to look nice for the husband. So Mamela, they understood that they're going to have oinas tamid chacham leil Shabbos. Now, Tana Rabbanon, we're going to do a little bit more about what is good. Ezel Ashir, what's an Ashir? So the Gemara does not say over here what it says in Pirkei Avos, Hasamech Bechalkai. But Rashi learns that that's what it means. Kol sheyesh lo nachas ruach ba'ashroi. What does that mean? That he has nachas ruach. So Rashi learns that it means that Rashi, a number of Mefarshim learn that it means that he's Samech Bechalkai. So, but the Gemara really says, Ezel Ashir, He's able to appreciate his wealth. So the Mefarshim say on this, if you take a look at the Mefarshim, so the Marshal, for instance, says, I'm shot in Rashi. Let's take another look at this Rashi.
I think last time the Rav said a story about some rich guy that the Rav went to him and he saw he had like not 1 second to his life.
Yeah. Maisa with Rav Gifta, right? Very good, Rav Gifta. Very good. But I just say this Rashi first. Nachas ruach ba'ashrei, Rashi says, somech b'chelkei ma'atim rav. So nachas ruach ba'ashrei means that he enjoys his wealth. So the Marsha explains about this, that a rich guy, since it's yesh lo imona rights of Masayim, he has $100, he wants $200. I don't know, whichever billionaire it is. He's got 60 billion, he wants 120 billion. It's not enough. It's never enough. So then he's always rushing. So that's what Yitzi just said. That was the Maisa with Rav Gifta Zatzal. Rav Gifta was visiting a very wealthy man. I don't want to say where, you might figure out who it is. And the person, like, he never had a minute. Like he finally came in and he rushed right out. So Rav Gifta said, I just want to ask you one question. I'm here to fundraise. I don't want to ask you for any money. He says, why don't you go in and spend a little time? You have such a lovely family. I was waiting for you for so long. You have such a wonderful house, such a wonderful family, such cute kids. So the Maisa went like this. So he said, in Yiddish, he said, As Mata Geschäft braucht man liegen in Geschäft. That was what he said. It's exactly the way Rav Gifta said it. Braucht man liegen in Geschäft. So he said, if you have a business, you have to live in the business. So he said, that's why I come home only for a few minutes. I rush right out. I'll retire. I'll have time for my kids. Rav Gifta gave him Musa. He said, you have enough. Enjoy yourself. I'm not going to take a penny from you. I'm not interested. But Rav Gifta said when he came back to Tells, so he said, our geschäft, our business is Torah. So that's malignant in Torah. That's what he told the guys in the Kehillas and in the yeshiva in Tells. Anyway, so now the Gemara brings over here another siman, matkas. These are all the names of the different Amoraim, Tanaim, and Amoraim that are being mentioned. So if Tarfon says that when a guy is rich, called Sheyesh Lemeya Krumim, he's got 100 vineyards. Umeya Sades and 100 fields. Umeya Avodim and 100 slaves. So what does he really mean? So most of the Farshim learn it means it's ridiculous. What does he need all that for? Teretz says he's an usher that doesn't enjoy anything. What are you going to do with 100 fields? You're going to wander around daily. You have nothing. Rabbi Kiva says, so the other pshat was about a woman, it was a little bit more physical. But now Rabbi Kiva says it's all spiritual. And it means also, did I skip a little bit? I'm sorry.
I think so, because we're almost
I'm
done the doc
sorry.
already.
I'm sorry. I skipped. Okay. I'm going to finish this and I'll go back. I skipped. I'm sorry. It means a woman that has a wife that is very good in her midos. In the olden days, the Bais Akisi was out in the back. So he says that it's not just out back, but it's close to the house, so you can slip out and go to the bathroom. And then the Tanya Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer ein matlikim b'tzari. So he said that you can't light with this kind of like very sweet smelling thing. Rest of my time, what's wrong? We understood all the other ones. You can leave the house, but this smells sweet. Because it's got a strong fragrance. So this guy's going to want to take a little bit of the oil to put it someplace else, maybe even in a salad. So that's what we're afraid of. Yeah, I think Amelie Abai will leave for tomorrow. Now let's go back. I apologize. So we stopped. Help me out over here where we stopped. I'm sorry.
The rich guy.
Yeah.
Around there.
After we learned that we learned. You know what happened? Because of the psukim, that's what happened over here. So when we finished with the psukim, so we said, right, Maiva tiznach mishalom nafshi amra babo zuat lokus ner Shabbos. It's toward the bottom. The shisi taiva. So amra b'yom zu beis hamerchas. So he said when a person forgets about, I think that's what we're up to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think we did this. I think we did everything.
We did everything. So maybe I just went very fast. Okay. So you know what? If you don't mind. So we did it. Okay, we did it.
Hold on, Abel. If we did it, then you repeat it. Let's see.
Now. He'll turn
Put your money where your mouth is, as they say.
Okay.
Afterwards. We'll do it b'chavrusa afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. So fine. There's such thing as chavrusas these days. I don't even know. All right. Right. Very good. So anyway, I mentioned a little bit that we're going to talk a little bit about what is Ner Shabbos. This is a very big sugya. The Briskerov basically owns it. He said the most famous word about it. What is Ner Shabbos? So the Rambam writes, I'm just going to read you a Rambam for a second. There's two deiraises and there's two derabbanos. So the Torah says Zochar v'Shamar, and then the Nevi'im say covered v'Oineg. So Zochar means to make Kiddush, and Shamar means not to do Malacha, and then there's covered v'Oineg. That's what the Rambam writes. So Tosfos disagrees. Tosfos says that Hadlakus Ner at the time of the Suda, that is Oineg. And the Beis Halevi explains that according to Tosfos, now we understand the machlokes Abaye and Rava that we just had. Abaye holds that the Ikri Chiyuv of Lakus Ner Shabbos is because of Shabbos, because of Kavod Shabbos. And Rava holds that the Ikri is Oineg Shabbos. So now, what's the difference? Halacha l'maisa. So Tosfos writes over here, Chayva, that so some hold, now it would be like blasphemy to say today that you can't make a bracha on Ner Shabbos. The women would kill us, right? But over here, the Tosfos says that there's two reasons. Just like by Natilas Yadayim, by Chulin, so we say, my Mishon Mitzvah, my Machron is Chayva, and the Afkamina is that if we don't make a bracha on Mayim Achronim. So over there also, because the Mayim Achronim has a certain purpose, it's to get rid of the melach steim, the steim salt, and we don't make a bracha. So now, listen to this. This is the Brisker Rav. So Brisker Rav says, he says like this. You have to go begging and you have to buy oil. So anyway, so the Brisker Rav says, what's the deal? So by Oineg, the Rambam says that you have to have a ner lit. If you look at Kavod Shabbos, he says he also is Erev Shabbos. You have to do it on Erev Shabbos. So the Rambam holds this two dinim. This is like a real brisker vart. Echad mishum einig Shabbos, echad mishum kavod Shabbos. The chiv of einig is shaykh on Shabbos itself, like all the other dinim of einig. So, for instance, we have cholent and kugel or kigel, whatever you like, right? And you drink, and the chiv is because of kavod is shaykh only on Erev Shabbos. What's the kavod of Shabbos? That you prepare all the things that you have to do for Shabbos, including washing up, and Mamela also lighting the candles. So it comes out a very interesting thing, that there's two dinim bichlal in all the rabbanans of Shabbos. One is Erev Shabbos, and one is on Shabbos itself. I just wanted to mention that it all comes out of our sugya. Now then there's a shaila, are you really mechuyev to wash your whole body? Because in our Gemara we only had said panav yadav v'raglav. So the Ramah adds in Shulchan Aruch, when you look up the Ramah in Shulchan Aruch says, in Simon Reish Samach, that it says kol gufay. And the Mordechai brings from the Rav Yah, rak panav yadav v'raglav. So from our Gemara Taka, we have a machlekes rishonim, what exactly is the chiyuv? I just go a little bit further. You know what? I'm going to go to another section over here that I marked off because it's very, very interesting. What to wear on Shabbos. So in the Gemara, you'll notice that Rabbi Yehudah, Rabbi Loi used to put on white garments, put on linens. So they bring, I don't know if you ever heard this, but I don't know if there's any Lubavitchers on, but if you ever saw the pictures of the different Lubavitcher Rebbes, there's a picture of, I believe it's the Samach Tzedek. Some Lubavitcher would probably correct me, but I think it's the Tzemach Tzedek, and he's wearing white. So what's the shot in the white? So they bring the from the Arzo Ruah in the name of the Rajabam that an Avul should not wear white on Shabbos, like that's what's negay this year, Leilena for the Avelim Nebuch, that they shouldn't wear white at the Seder because it's a glorious garment. That's how the Gra also holds. Now we said this before. The Rabbeinu Yehudah Chassid, the Sefer Chassidim brings, shaz a kainim love should be godim levanim b'Shabbos. They used to wear white on Shabbos from this Gemara. So he brings like this: the Mekubalim Nagu al pi Kabbalah Lilbash big they love him b'Shabbos. And where do we see this? So he brings from the Elio Rabbah al pi Kabbalah. They used to wear 4 begadim. So it means the like a robe that was the beged elyon, and underneath it like a shirt, and then also like some kind of pants apparently, and another garment. I don't think we have that kind of garment. So these 4 garments represented the Isios of Havaya, Yud Ke Vav Ke. Now, I don't think we're on that level of Mekubalim, but then he brings Sha'arizal Yotzim Talmidav Chutz Le'ir Tzvas, Lavish Dalad Big They Lava. And he gives the names of these begadim, Hilark, Shupza, Ksoines, U'Mechnasayim. So the only one I recognize over here was pants, but they had also 4 begadim. So they say over in some of the Mekubalim they bring that they actually wear shmoina begadim, which is like another level. And some of the Chassidish Rebbes also you'll see they wear like a bekisha, and then they wear on top of the bekisha some other thing, and they wear a special kind of pants and a bunch of other things. It adds up to shmoina begadim. Okay, so I mean I had a little bit more, but I think we'll stop over here. And I do
What's the
apologize.
white socks?
What? Maybe
What's the
white
white
socks.
socks?
Right, Vasazakin.
Is
Maybe
that
that's
one of
Taka
the
where it
4?
comes from. Yeah. That was I think that was it. Didn't say over here, but I think that if you look at the Chassidish's firm, they talk about white socks. So I'm sorry, I'm dealing with a couple of chaylim and different very very big shilas. So if we finish the daf, we're good. We'll stop over here.